She ignores your texts. She acts like you don't exist. And the more you chase, the more invisible you become. But here's the truth no one tells you. Her indifference is not a test of your worth, it's a test of your self-control. Most men react. They beg, they overthink, they try to win her back. But the moment you seek validation, you've already lost. The real power? It's in your silence. It's in your ability to detach. This is where Stoicism gives you an edge. When a woman ignores you, you don't chase, you don't beg, you don't react, you become the mystery. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." When you stop seeking approval, you shift the balance. Suddenly, you're no longer the man trying to prove his value. You are the value. Want to know how to master this mindset? How to turn rejection into dominance? Stay with me, because what I'm about to reveal will not only change the way you see women, it will change the way you see yourself. Now let's begin. Number 1, the harsh truth. Why ignoring you is a power play. She hasn't responded. No text, no call, no explanation, just silence. And in that silence, your mind starts spinning. Did I say something wrong? Is she losing interest? Should I reach out again? Stop right here, because the moment you start seeking answers, you've already lost. What you don't realize is that her silence isn't random. It's calculated. It's a power play, a test. And most men fail spectacularly because they fall right into the trap. They react. They chase. They give away their power without even realizing it. But a Stoic man? He does something different. He understands a fundamental truth. Power is held by the one who needs nothing. The psychological game of ignoring. Human nature is predictable. We crave what we can't have, and we take for granted what's always available. This isn't just a dating concept, it's a universal law of attraction. When a woman ignores you, she's shifting the balance of power. She's subtly positioning herself as the prize, the one who decides when and if communication happens. And most men, desperate for validation, scramble to reclaim her attention. This is why chasing never works. The more effort you put in, the less value you hold in her eyes. She doesn't respect the man who begs. She respects the man who commands attention effortlessly. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." The moment you start overanalyzing, wondering what she's thinking, or how to fix the situation, you've lost control, not just over her, but over yourself. How a Stoic handles being ignored. The weak man reacts, the strong man observes. A Stoic does not beg for attention. He does not chase. Instead, he understands that his value is not determined by external validation. When ignored, he remains indifferent. Not because he's playing a game, but because his sense of worth is untouchable. Consider this. A king does not plead for the attention of his subjects. He does not concern himself with who acknowledges him and who doesn't. He walks with certainty, knowing that his presence alone commands respect. And that is exactly how you must carry yourself. When a woman ignores you, your response is simple. Do nothing. No double texting. No passive-aggressive behavior. No sudden declarations of disinterest, just to provoke a reaction. Instead, you lean back. You continue living. You focus on your purpose. Because the truth is, the moment you stop caring about her reaction is the moment you regain control. Reversing the dynamic without saying a word. There is nothing more unsettling than a man who does not react the way a woman expects. When she ignores you, she anticipates a certain response, maybe frustration, insecurity, or an attempt to win her back. But when you do nothing, when you remain completely unfazed, that's when the real shift happens. Now she starts wondering, why isn't he reacting? Why doesn't he care? Did I misjudge him? And suddenly the roles are reversed. By doing nothing, you force her to question her position in your life. Instead of you chasing her, she starts feeling your absence. She starts craving the attention you once gave so freely. Mastering emotional control. Ignoring is a power play, but only if you let it be. A Stoic man doesn't get caught in these petty battles because he knows that true strength comes from within. So next time a woman ignores you, remember, her silence is not a loss. It's an opportunity to prove to yourself that you are above the need for validation. And that's real power. Number 2, the biggest mistake, why chasing destroys your value. She pulls away. You panic, your mind tells you do something before she's gone forever. So you text again. Maybe something casual, maybe something desperate. Either way, you justify it to yourself. I just need clarity. I just need to show her I care. But here's what you don't see. The moment you chase, you lose value. The second you seek her validation, you confirm exactly what she suspected. You are replaceable. Why chasing kills attraction? Attraction is not built on logic, it's built on perceived value. Imagine 2 men. One is calm, focused, and completely indifferent to whether a woman stays or leaves. The other is anxious, reactive, and constantly trying to prove his worth. Which man holds more power? Which one is more attractive? The answer is obvious, and yet, when faced with rejection, most men turn into the second man. Desperate, needy, and willing to do anything for another chance. But desperation is a repellent. The more you chase, the more she pulls away. Why? Because in her mind, if you were truly valuable, you wouldn't need to chase. Marcus Aurelius put it best. Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Instead of proving yourself, become a man so grounded that you never feel the need to convince anyone of your worth. The psychological trap. Why you feel the need to chase. Chasing isn't just about wanting her attention. It's about the fear of losing control. Most men equate a woman's attention with their own self-worth. So when she ignores them, they panic. Not because they truly need her, but because they can't handle the idea of not being in control of the situation. This is an ego trap. The Stoic understands that true control comes from detachment. He does not fear losing someone because he knows his value is not tied to another person's approval. And here's the paradox. The less you fear losing her, the more she feels the need to hold on to you. The power of doing nothing. When a woman ignores you, your response should not be more effort, it should be silence. Silence is power. Silence is mystery. Silence forces her to question herself instead of you. A man who does nothing in the face of rejection is a man who commands respect. He does not explain himself. He does not try to win her back. He simply moves forward, knowing that chasing is beneath him. And if she doesn't return, then she was never truly interested in the first place, and that, my friend, is her loss. The man who never chases. Women respect men who respect themselves. And self-respect means never chasing someone who chooses to walk away. So next time you feel the urge to chase, stop. Remember, your value is not determined by whether she stays or leaves. It is determined by how unshaken you remain in the face of indifference. Number 3. The Stoic response. Absolute detachment. She ignores you. Most men panic, react, or desperately try to regain control. But a Stoic man, he does nothing. Not because he's weak. Not because he doesn't care. But because he understands the fundamental truth of power. Detachment is strength. The illusion of control. Most men believe that if they just say the right words, send the right message, or prove their worth, they can fix the situation. But here's the harsh reality. You were never in control to begin with. Control is an illusion created by attachment. The more you cling to an outcome, the more powerless you become. Epictetus, the great Stoic philosopher, put it simply, freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. And what is more out of your control than another person's emotions? The Stoic man realizes this. He does not fight for attention. He does not beg for validation. He walks away, not to manipulate, but because his peace is more valuable than anyone's approval. Detachment is not indifference, it's power. Many mistake detachment for coldness, but that's not what Stoicism teaches. Detachment doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you control how you respond to your emotions. Imagine 2 men. The first is consumed by emotion. He overthinks every interaction, desperately seeking reassurance. The second acknowledges his emotions but refuses to be controlled by them. He is centered, unshaken. Which man do you think commands more respect? Which one is truly powerful? Detachment is not about pretending to be emotionless. It's about being so secure in yourself that no external force, no rejection, no silence, no loss can shake you. How absolute detachment shifts the power dynamic. When a woman ignores you, she expects a reaction. She expects you to seek validation, to prove your worth, to chase. But when you do nothing, when you remain composed, unfazed, and move forward as if her absence means nothing, she starts to question herself. Now she's the one wondering, did I misjudge him? Why isn't he reacting? Is he really that unbothered? And suddenly the power shifts. By detaching, you become the one in control. Practical Stoic exercises to master detachment. 1. Practice voluntary discomfort. Train yourself to handle discomfort without reacting. Go a day without social media, fast for a few hours, or challenge yourself to embrace silence. This builds discipline over your impulses. 2. Daily reflection. Each night ask yourself, did I react emotionally to something I shouldn't have? If so, how could you have handled it with more control? 3. Memento mori. Remind yourself that everything in life is temporary, including relationships. This makes attachment seem insignificant in the grand scheme of things. The man who cannot be moved. The world respects a man who is in control of himself. Women respect a man who does not seek approval. And the moment you master absolute detachment, you become untouchable. 4. Reverse the power dynamic, the art of disappearing. She pulled away. She ignored you. Now every instinct in your mind is screaming at you to act, to send another text, to clear the air, to remind her of your value. But what if I told you that the most powerful move you can make is to disappear completely, not as a game, not as manipulation, but as an unshakable declaration of self-respect? Why disappearing is the ultimate power move. The moment you step back, two things happen. 1. You eliminate her control over you. When you react to her silence, she dictates your emotions. But when you disappear, you take back the power. 2. You trigger the psychology of loss. People don't appreciate what's always available. When you remove your presence, you force her to feel your absence. Seneca once said, "Sometimes even to live is an act of courage." And in a world where people are desperate for attention, the courage to walk away without a word is the ultimate display of strength. The psychology behind out of sight, out of reach. Humans crave certainty. The moment something is unavailable, it becomes more valuable. This is why scarcity creates demand. It's why luxury brands limit supply, why elite clubs have exclusive memberships, and why the people who are hardest to reach are the most desired. When you disappear, you shift from being predictable to being a mystery. And mystery, it's magnetic. Suddenly she starts to wonder, why hasn't he reached out? Did I misjudge him? Was he actually more valuable than I thought? By doing nothing, you create questions in her mind, and questions lead to curiosity, and curiosity leads to attraction. How to perfect the art of disappearing. 1. Go completely silent. No texts, no calls, no social media reactions. Let her feel what life is like without you. 2. Focus on your purpose. Disappearing isn't just about stepping away from her. It's about stepping deeper into your own life. Gym, business, passion, growth. Become so consumed by your own progress that she becomes an afterthought. 3. Elevate yourself. When she finally looks back at you, she should see a man who has leveled up. Not someone who waited around, but someone who became even greater in her absence. What if she never comes back? Good. Because the point of disappearing isn't to manipulate. It's to reveal who truly values you. The woman who respects you will feel your absence and return. The woman who doesn't, she was never truly interested in the first place. Either way, you win. The man who walks away owns the frame. A man who disappears is a man who commands respect. Not because he plays games, not because he's trying to win, but because he values himself too much to beg for attention. And that is power. 5. Building an unshakable mindset. You are the prize. The moment you see yourself as the prize, everything changes. Women sense it. The world reacts to it, and suddenly, instead of chasing approval, you become the one who is pursued. But here's the truth. Most men don't see themselves this way. They place women on pedestals. They act like getting attention is a privilege. They believe they have to prove their worth. This mindset is exactly why they lose. Because the man who knows he is the prize, he never seeks validation, he expects it. Why most men get this wrong? Society has conditioned men to believe that women are the ultimate goal. That a man's value is determined by how much attention he gets. This is a lie. Your value is not based on external validation. It is based on who you are, what you build, and how you carry yourself. Marcus Aurelius said it best. You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. A high-value man doesn't waste energy worrying about how a woman feels about him. He is too focused on building himself. The shift from seeker to selector. When you operate from scarcity, you think, how can I get her to like me? But when you embrace the prize mindset, you think, does she deserve a place in my life? Does she add value to my purpose? Is she truly worthy of my time and energy? This shift changes everything. Instead of anxiously waiting for attention, you become the man who chooses. And the second you start choosing, women feel it. 3 pillars of an unshakable mindset. 1 purpose over women. Your mission comes first. Not texts, not validation, not fleeting attraction. The more you prioritize your goals, the more women are drawn to your energy. 2. Emotional control. A man who is reactive is a man who can be controlled. When you are centered, when no rejection, silence, or disrespect shakes you, you become powerful. 3. Abundance mentality. There are billions of women in the world. The more you see yourself as the prize, the more you realize that no one woman defines your worth. The power of walking away. A man who knows his value is never afraid to leave. If a woman plays games, he walks. If she disrespects him, he walks. If she pulls away, he doesn't chase, he lets her go. Because he understands the prize does not beg to be won. The man who cannot be ignored. Women are drawn to men who move with certainty, not because they are arrogant, not because they play games, but because they know exactly who they are and what they bring to the table. The moment you internalize this truth, when you stop proving yourself and start living with unshakable purpose, the dynamic shifts forever. Number 6, when she returns, how to maintain dominance. She ignored you, you disappeared. Now suddenly she's back. A message, a like on your post, a subtle attempt to re-enter your world. Most men would see this as a victory. They'd rush to reply, eager to pick up where they left off. And that's exactly why they lose. Because the moment you jump back in without thinking, you hand over the power she once had over you. A Stoic man? He does not react emotionally, he does not fall into old patterns. Instead, he maintains dominance. Why she's coming back and what it really means? Women don't return by accident. If she ignored you before and is now showing interest, it's because your absence created curiosity. She's wondering, why didn't he chase me? Did I misjudge him? Has he moved on? The worst thing you can do now is make her feel certain again, because the second she knows she has you, she loses attraction all over again. Your power lies in maintaining the mystery, discipline, and presence that made her come back in the first place. How to respond with strength. 1. Stay calm, stay indifferent. Do not act excited. Do not overinvest. Your tone should be cool, composed, and in control. 2. Do not bring up the past. Never ask why she ignored you. Never ask why she's back. Make her wonder if you even noticed she was gone. 3. Control the frame. If you choose to respond, dictate the interaction on your terms. Set the pace, the location, the timing. Never be too available. Pursue show, don't tell. If she sees that you've been thriving without her, focused on your goals, growing, improving, that alone will remind her of your value. The biggest mistake, rewarding her too quickly. Many men see a woman's return as a green light to fall back into old habits. They become too eager, too invested, too validating. This kills attraction instantly. The rule is simple. She must earn her way back in. If she ghosted, she does not get instant access to your time. If she flaked, she does not get your energy without effort. If she disrespected you, she must prove her value again. The man who cannot be manipulated. Women respect men who do not fold. A Stoic man never begs for attention. He never rewards disrespect, and he never gives unearned second chances. If she returns, she must step into your world on your terms. Because the moment you show that you are unaffected, that you are always in control, you become the man she cannot ignore. The final lesson, mastering control over yourself. Everything we've covered so far, detachment, self-respect, power dynamics, boils down to one ultimate truth. The man who controls himself controls everything. Most men are slaves to their emotions. They react out of fear, desperation, and insecurity. But a Stoic man, he is unshaken. His emotions do not dictate his actions. He remains calm under pressure, composed in chaos, and indifferent to rejection. And that is why he always wins. Why emotional control is the ultimate power. When a woman ignores you, most men panic. They double text, they overthink, they try to fix something that was never theirs to control. But when you control yourself, when you refuse to let outside forces dictate your actions, you instantly shift the dynamic. She expects you to chase, you don't. She expects you to react, you remain calm. She expects you to beg for attention. You disappear. Suddenly, she's the one feeling uncertain. She's the one chasing your validation. This is the power of self-mastery. The 3 pillars of total self-control. 1. Indifference to outcomes. You do not need any woman's attention. If she stays, good. If she leaves, good. Either way, you win. By mastering emotional reactions. If you let emotions control you, you become predictable. And predictable men are easy to manipulate. A Stoic man responds with logic, not emotion. Cares focusing only on what you control. Epictetus said, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. You do not control how someone else feels. You only control yourself. And when you embrace this, you become truly untouchable." How to apply this instantly? 1. Pause before reacting. Anytime you feel the urge to text, explain, or react emotionally, pause. Detach from the situation. Respond only when you are in full control. 2. Train your mind like a warrior. Read Stoic philosophy. Study self-discipline. Build mental toughness every single day. Strength is a habit. First, and stay rooted in purpose. The more you focus on your goals, the less you care about external validation. Women become a complement to your life, not the center of it. The man who needs nothing controls everything. The moment you stop chasing, stop reacting, and stop needing external validation, you become the most powerful man in any room, not because you manipulate, not because you play games, but because you have achieved the rarest thing in the world, absolute mastery over yourself. And once you have that, no one can ever control you again. At the end of the day, the man who masters himself is the man who masters life. You don't chase validation. You don't react emotionally. You don't let anyone, woman or otherwise, dictate your worth. Because you are the prize. Marcus Aurelius said it best. A man's worth is no greater than the worth of his ambitions. So ask yourself, are you living for approval? Or are you building yourself into a man who needs nothing, yet attracts everything? The answer to that question will define your future. If this message hit home, it's time to take action. Drop a comment below. What is one area in your life where you need to take back control? And if you're ready to embrace true Stoic strength, subscribe now because we're just getting started.